For me, I think it was the first game. You see the sign, everything's lit up, people driving in, and it was like, that's when it got real.
For 10 years, going all in again and again and like putting every dollar into growth. That's crazy.
At the core of Lucas Oil, we're trying to improve and impact lives. And there's just so much excitement about what we're going to do in the future.
See the logo on the side of this massive building looming over the Indianapolis skyline. What did that mean to you? From South Bend to Evansville and everywhere in between, this is Get In, the show focused on the Hoosier State and the incredible stories happening here today. I'm Nate Spengel, founder of Get Indiana, and I will be your host for today's conversation. Before we dive into today's episode, a quick shout out to our friends at NCW, the team that's been building one of the fastest growing staffing and recruiting companies in America for over 25 years. They specialize in the skilled trades, but here's the thing, they're also growing their own internal team. If you or someone you know is interested in recruiting, sales, or just making businesses run smoother, you'll want to check them out at teamncw.com. This is just another job pitch. NCW has been voted a top workplace by the Indy Star, landed on the IBJ Fast 25 list, and made the Inc. 5000 list multiple times. I'll tell you, I've got plenty of friends who work there and they all love it. Go check out teamncw.com. Now let's get into the episode. My guests today, you're going to know them. I have Morgan Lucas, the CEO of Lucas Oil. He is a former NHRA Top Fuel dragster driver who once clocked 330 miles per hour on the racetrack. Is that true?
Yeah, well, a few times actually,
Holy
but I'm not to brag. No.
Holy smokes. Now he's driving impact off the track by leading Lucas Oil with a focus on innovation, team development, and Midwest values. He was named one of Indiana's 250 most influential leaders this year. Katie Lucas is the president of Lucas Oil. She's a visionary leader shaping the company's culture, global branding, and philanthropic outreach. She was also named one of Indiana's 250 most influential leaders. She is championing purpose-driven business right here in Indiana. So I have 125th of the most influential business leaders in Indiana in the studio today. Let's go. I'm really excited to learn this story. Started back in 1989 by Forrest and Charlotte Lucas. So another married couple started this in 1989. Let's go. I'm really excited. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, very excited.
Oh my goodness. This is fun. I think that if I thought back to, like pipe dream bucket list when you first start a podcast, of like one day it'd be so cool to have like blah, blah, blah. It was like Lucas Oil was right up there. Like this is, you guys' name is on the side of the Colts Stadium. Shout out, they're 7-1 at the moment. Let's go. This is awesome. I'm really excited to be sitting down again with 125th of the most influential people in the state of Indiana. But the story doesn't start today. The story starts back in 1989 down in southern Indiana. Is that where Harrison County is where your dad's from?
That's where my father is actually from Columbus originally, went to high school in Harrison County. He was a long-haul truck driver for most of his life. I mean, he worked a lot of different jobs, hard jobs, was broke most of his life. You just learned an amazing work ethic in that process. But when we started and founded Lucas Oil, sorry, I say we. When my parents did, I was the little rugrat that was annoying them the whole time.
How old were you in 1989?
5, 6.
Okay.
So born in 83, but again, trying to found a company and incorporate that at that time took a lot of time and effort from my parents' part. But we had to do that in California because that's where the raw materials that we used at the time were.
Oh, so you were out in California at the time?
So basically, my father, while owning his own trucking company, a small fleet, realized that there was a plethora of problems with trucks, especially in heat, a lot of friction-based problems. Trying to drive across Southwest in the middle of summer, just a lot of overheating issues. Trucks were constantly having to drive at night, just trying to keep temperatures down. And it just the mechanical issues that came. My dad maintained all of his trucks himself to the point where I've heard countless stories of my dad rolling tires down a hill to my brothers to get inflated. You know what I mean? It's just because the service station was down there. And that's just, he just did everything based on necessity. And so he had a massive problem. He knew the whole industry had a problem. And he started basically doing research. He was a self-taught man. And my mother was an amazing support system for him through all of that. And developed this product that worked in his own trucks. And then my mom said, hey, this is pretty good. Maybe you ought to start selling to somebody else.
What was the first product?
Lucas Oil Stabilizer.
Stabilizer.
And, and at the time when he started using it, he didn't even have a name for it.
It was just the magic juice or whatever. Yeah.
Uncle Forrest's secret blend,
Yes.
And that's really how it started. Was basically, hey, we're onto something here.
What was the problem that stabilizer was solving?
Friction. Basically, in an engine, so you have a lot of metal-to-metal contact, especially when oil breaks down. Diesel fuels can actually work as a cleaning agent to some degree, and it will actually break down the oil over time. When you mix that with heat, external heat, operating temperatures go up, friction goes up, and then you start seeing failures of parts.
Okay, so he solves his own problem for his fleet that he's that's crazy. Yeah. How old was your dad in 1989 when this started?
45, 46 years old.
Oh man, I think a lot of today, especially in 2025, a lot of people fantasize being the Mark Zuckerberg 18-year-old, drop out of Harvard to start your company and change the world. And I think it's really interesting to see finding, you have a 25-year career plus, and then finding this problem and solving your own issue, and then it leads you to a company. That's wild. How did it go from solving his own problem to then getting commercialized and selling it to other people?
That's again where my mom as a support system came in, because in the beginning he had to take a big risk. He had to move a lot of his trucking equipment and sell the trucking company in general, and go all in.
No way.
Yeah, and he did all of it himself for a long time. He and my mom, I see himself, meaning in the beginning, we started with a lot of homemade equipment. He found used tanks, pumps, things like that. And what people probably see in a manufacturing facility, especially when it comes to bottles with liquid in them, is a machine that's just rolling through and just filling, and just automation throughout the front and back of the process. At this point, my dad built this equipment in a small, warehouse that they leased. And again, this is all floating a lot of cash at that point in time that they had, but it was a big risk. And he built all this equipment, and we're filling bottles one at a time by hand with an on and off valve like you would see similar to an irrigation system. And putting caps on by hand, putting them in boxes, stacking pallets. Everything was done completely by hand. And at the time, especially for the first decade, everything was being reinvested back into the business. And in order to grow, to scale, to do all that, and all of that without incurring any debt. And that was kind of the real miracle in the situation, the real kind of God point in that moment. To see something like that happen, you can't think of doing anything in the business world today without incurring debt or finding outside funding. And so I don't know if you could redo it today, but it was a special set of circumstances where everything had to go right. And I think my dad's superpower at that point, I'm using one of Katie's phrases here, but his superpower was common sense. He knew what they needed to get by. They fed me 29-cent cheeseburgers from McDonald's on special, and the real treat was the hot apple pie. And that was just how life was. And as a kid, I didn't know any different. I embraced it.
Starting a company is not a 9-to-5. Anyone out there who's wondering, it's not a 9-to-5. So you as a kid growing up and you're seeing that, I'm sure there was late nights or early mornings or dad, mom doing these things. What was that family life like for you all?
Early on, I had family here in Indiana that sometimes during the summers or winters we'd spend Christmas or whatever it was. Most of the time we didn't fly because we couldn't afford the plane tickets. We drove from California to Indiana almost every time. It's just interesting. You get a lot of life experiences, even if it's driving across the country, whether it's ice storms in Oklahoma in the dead of winter. I remember that the doors of the car were frozen shut. And it was wild as a kid. And my dad, I had a lot of respect for him because he handled those roads like a champion. But, you see all of that and you see that growth. But as a kid, again, your mind is evolving alongside of the company and growing. So for me, I spent a lot of time, they'd give me a stack of paper and I learned how to draw and keep myself busy, or there'd be other times where my dad would put me to work.
Yeah.
Again, at the time, we couldn't even get our bottles screen printed. We were labeling everything. Everything had a decal on it. And some products did have a screen printed, depending on the life of it. But by hand, labeling bottles.
No way.
Boxes of them.
Do you remember the moment where, I feel like a lot of people fantasize entrepreneurship. They're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to be the flashy tech CEO and all this stuff. Do you remember the moment where it went from, maybe your parents could breathe of okay, this is going to work. We have something that's going to, be successful and sustainable for our family.
Again, I'm dating myself and I'm dating the company at this point, but there's a fax machine in the office. And we had a customer at the time, Barjan, who sold into a lot of truck stops and fleets. And this is, again, the progression of being a kid with my dad driving around with product in the trunk of a burgundy red Buick Riviera. That was my mom's car. And like basically selling.
Delivery vehicle.
Oh, it was a delivery vehicle.
Mom's delivery vehicle, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I would go on plenty of deliveries with my mom at times as a kid because it's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go with her in the car ride or I'm going to sit back. But that's, again, how we did it.
Yeah.
But my dad, we did a lot of, lunches sitting at an iron skillet at a Petro, talking to the store manager, trying to get our product on the shelves. And so that escalated into this relationship with Barjan, who serviced a lot of these stores and shops. And I remember this $40,000 order coming in. And my dad, I mean, he was doing a dance all the way down the hallway because I think in his mind it clicked as well. Like, hey, this is sustainable.
This is where that customer barges in.
No, Barjan is the
name. Didn't barge into the place. The place, and they ordered $40,000 worth of product
at that one time, and that was the single biggest order at the time. And I remember like that was a champagne popping moment, so to speak. It was a big deal as a kid to see your parents that excited. And I guess, but it took 10, 15, 20 years for me to really understand the magnitude of it at the time.
Yeah. And like getting other people to believe that a thing, like, I don't know, like an idea, a vision, like something that you've put so much blood, sweat, time, money, he sold the company to go all in on this thing. Mm-hmm. So that has to be such a validating experience. How old were you at that point when it felt like things were kind of going to work?
I was probably, I don't know, 12, maybe 10, 12. I mean, it was already, every year we'd saw growth and we experienced it. I mean, to be honest, to the point where my parents were so unsure, we were doing year-to-year leases on warehouse space and like moving from location to location constantly.
Wow.
And it evolved with it. My dad would never buy new things or anything, but I feel like after that Barjan order, it was funny because my parents never bought new things, I'm telling you. And then in 1996, 97, somewhere in there, they bought their first brand new car ever. And that was a massive deal at the time.
Was this a car or also a delivery vehicle?
No, this was a standalone car.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, we had a truck at that point in time. We had elevated to that point of actually having delivery vehicles.
Okay, nice. So things start to progress. When do like employees start to come on and this thing start growing?
I mean, within the first probably 2 years, we started hiring employees.
Yeah,
they were first year,
like the production side of things.
Yes, and then again that was one of those things was see a need, fill a need. Okay, we're starting to pick up sales. My dad had a great friend from trucking that was a dispatch guy that he hired on to help with the sales front, and again, it was a very organic growth type of situation.
Yeah. And so then your career, and we're going to get to the, fast forward to today, but we do have to briefly dive into where racing comes into this and becoming an NHRA dragster driver?
Well, you can't have a, automotive-based oil company and not have a passion for cars. And my father actually was very passionate about me understanding how internal combustion engines work, the difference between an automatic and a manual transmission, all those things. And honestly, racing was something my dad was passionate about. He drove, he was basically renting and driving this is in the mid to late 90s, around that time when they got that car. He wanted to drive a dirt track car, like a hobby stock kind of thing. And he was good. I mean, he was really good. As a kid, you noticed that. And then he took me to my first drag race because we were sponsoring a team with oil. At the time, that was a really big deal for us. And
like giving them oil?
Yeah, for their race car. Yeah. And it was a big deal for us. And we were trying to solve problems even at the racing front. And I fell in love with it, just the same way my dad did with what he was doing. My dad fell in love with racing when he was driving on back roads in southern Indiana. I heard stories about him rolling a car when he was a kid. So he lived a very exciting youth, apparently. But to that point, I just fell in love with it. I started working on cars before I could drive them and started driving, and it kind of just took off. And that's, again, to this day, why I say I was the most expensive mistake my parents ever made.
That's a good one. I like that. Well, I mean, we do have to add, I think the easy question is what's it like going 330 miles an hour down a drag strip?
Tells you a lot about the brain because it's exhilarating. The G-forces, the pressure, the rush, our kids are into baseball. So I use a lot of baseball metaphors, but the idea of me or you stepping in the box, somebody throwing 95 to 100 seems very intimidating, but I had the chance to kind of move up different categories and classes, and it's amazing how strong your brain is in that sense of being able to slow things down and to perceive it. And so for me, the race lasted 3 to 4 seconds, and it felt like it was, much longer than that. It just felt like in that sense, because you're, you're competitive at it and you want to pursue it. It was a lot of fun, very exciting way to make a living for a while. It moved me to Indiana from California.
Okay, that's what got you to Indiana?
So yeah, racing is crazy as it was and as hard as it was on my body over the years. I can honestly say it was the best thing that ever happened because it moved me here. I got a chance to meet her.
How did you guys end up meeting?
So my very first job, I got my dream job out of college. So I, big sports family. We had always had season tickets for the Colts. And so I was, at Kelly School of Business at the time. So I'm like, dream job, doing marketing for the Colts. That would be my absolute dream. I remember sitting at the RCA Dome saying that. And as luck would have it, as in God's divine timing, my very first job, I was able to work for the Colts in corporate sales. So I actually met Forrest and Charlotte well before I had ever met Morgan. And they kept telling me, hey, we have a son. We really want you to meet him.
My parents trying to pimp me out. That's good. Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, this is not going to end well. I don't want to ruin a relationship with a sponsor. I'm, single out of college. No way. Don't want to ruin that. That went on for almost a year when we had people from the Colts trying to get us together, his whole family trying to get us together. That literally a full year went by of that trying to happen. And then we just, met on our own at a Colts event.
She felt bad for me, and here we are today.
Wait, what? Like, so you had no idea. You guys just met, and you're like, oh, man, you're the guy that I've been hearing.
Can I embarrass you a little bit?
Oh, well, please tell the story. This is very factual. So, yeah, I lean into this because, again, that's why I say she felt bad for me.
Yeah, right.
I did. So we were at a Colts event. I was working for the Colts. It was a sponsor event, so we knew everybody. So my friends and I that worked there, we knew everyone. And there's this one guy that was our age that we didn't know. And like, this is weird. Like, we normally know everybody. So we were talking, like, he keeps staring at you.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps just staring at you. And we're like, I don't know. We don't know who this is. It was just kind of awkward. And then all of a sudden, they're like, he's coming over here. And so we were sitting at this cocktail table, had just gotten drinks, and we're like, okay, what do we do? This guy we don't know is starting to come over. And he so nervously came up and he was like, can I get you a drink? And we all looked down at our full glasses. And he just looked down at him and then just like tail between the legs walked away. Like, legit felt so bad for him.
I was thoroughly embarrassed with myself, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to break the ice, and hope that you run into her again, which we were fortunate enough to have.
And I mean, it looks like it worked.
It did.
Maybe you needed 2 drinks. Could have been one of those Thursday nights. Come on.
Yeah, it's a God thing. You know what I mean? Like it's. Too many coincidences in life not to go that route.
At the point when you guys met, how long were you still driving after that?
Well, I drove for a number of years after that, and after we got married, we had our first child, and I went back to what I call reduced schedule. Did that for a little while because at that point my focus was getting, I think, more heavily involved in the family business.
Okay, so that was your goal.
You never fully get out, right? But it was to get, I think, get back involved to the level I should have been. I did that for a couple of years after we had our second son. We have 2 boys. That was 2016. I realized it's time to hang it up. A lot of people ask, do you miss it? No. I love it. Our kids now, they play competitive baseball. They're a handful, and I can't imagine her doing that without me. And traveling on the road just takes a lot of time. And my parents, again, to that point earlier, they were working their butts off when I was a kid. So to me, the success that they built and established, it would be foolish of me not to take advantage of that and be involved in more of my kids' lives and their passion points.
Totally. Like, being out, how many races is a season in drag car?
23, 24.
Yeah, so that's 23, 24 weekends.
Pretty much full weeks because they, test before, they'll test after. It's not like, IndyCar or NASCAR that comes in for just a weekend. You're talking a full week, and there were times, I would travel with him. We'd be on the road for 3 weeks at a time.
Oh, man.
On those West Coast swings. It was a lot.
Yeah, we tried to make some fun stuff happen in between, but it's still, it's... it was a really fun, exciting thing, but I think that all the decisions that were made after the fact, it's awesome. I mean, getting to work alongside her on a daily basis is amazing. I think at night, we know what the other person's dealing with. I think that's also very helpful, but we balance each other out very well. because I was racing, I don't have a formal education when it comes to business. I just know Lucas Oil business. I know cars, and I understand how a hydraulic system works and all of those things. And she has an amazing plethora of institutional knowledge and work experience and understanding, how we can take this company forward. And it's been kind of just a really blessing and a fun ride.
Yeah. Is that challenging? I feel like leading a company as well as like like when you have, someone's got to do parent teacher conference and someone has to do like a shareholder meeting, like how does that go?
I think in the beginning it was not challenging, but it just took us a little bit to find our groove. But like Morgan said, we are so different and our experience is different. Our knowledge base is different. Then when we come together, we make a great team.
Yeah.
Because I don't know cars the way he does. He doesn't know some of the, traditional business knowledge that I do. And so when we come together, it's great. And we really are a team through and through. And we really divide and conquer a lot of even the kids stuff.
It's
awesome. Like he'll be like, you have this important meeting, I'll pick up the kids, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And we have a great
That is nice to have like visibility into like what, like, because I feel like sometimes if you have like vastly different careers, it's like you don't know the actual level of stress that like whoever might be enduring there.
Yeah, 100%. And to be honest with the kids, that is a perfect analogy of how we create balance in our life, because I feel like when it comes to school related issues and things like that, she's at the forefront of all that. When it comes to practices and all those things, that's where I take over, and we create a balance in that situation.
Katie, did you know, like, as you guys in your relationship progressed and everything, that you were going to end up working within the family business?
I kind of assume so. I feel like, because I knew Forrest and Charlotte before, they knew my background. And I think, Forrest, I loved talking to him about business and questions. And we had a good relationship when it came to the business side. So I think I knew maybe even before Morgan knew what our future kind of held. And it's the best example because, Forrest and Charlotte worked together to build it. And it's amazing that I get to work next to my husband as we, continue to build and elevate what they started.
Heck yeah. I love that. I think that's so cool. So when did you guys become CEO and president?
I think it was last year, right?
It's been a couple years.
I'm good with dates. She's really good with that.
Yeah.
But really with the family business, the title, we were in those roles well before the titles changed. Neither one of us actually cared about the title. It was more of our team saying, hey, you really need these titles just externally. So in the roles, probably 4 to 5 years, but officially probably 2 years.
Man, okay. Wow. That's super fun. And a lot of learnings and fun. And we did say before we started filming, this is your first time doing a podcast together.
Together, yes.
Like that's on all fronts exciting.
Yeah, this is a maiden voyage for us. And it's going well so far. I'm happy. I'm enjoying this.
I mean, only one embarrassing story. So we need to like up those numbers a little bit there.
I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah,
some stats.
There we go. Okay, so let's talk about, I think, what Lucas Oil is and all the different products and things like that. I think that a lot of times we see, we did this when I had someone from Gainbridge on. It's funny, we're like getting all the facilities and stadiums, right? And like no one knows what Gainbridge does. We had they gave us like a 5-minute elevator pitch. I kind of get it now. It makes a little sense. Like I think that people see the name, Lucas Oil Stadium, and that's like might be their experience. They see the drag cars inside there. They think racing. They think this, but like, give us the pitch of what is Lucas Oil products and all the things that you guys do, and the global reach. I think I saw 40 different countries all across the world.
Well, Lucas Oil is basically a problem-solving company first, and when I say that, meaning because again, when the genesis of the company was solving a problem. We've really tried to continue that kind of North Star culture, or whatever you want to call it, keep that embedded in what we do and how we look at things. We want to make sure that we're always producing first-in-class products. If we can't make it better or best, we don't typically like to even get involved. We've looked at the automotive space, but not just the automotive space, the heavy-duty, the agriculture space, industrial, everything front to back from that side of it where a lubricant need is there. Because we strive to make things last longer, to save people money, to, again, reduce friction, to reduce operating temperatures, to do all these things that most people don't think about on a daily basis. And a lot of times people don't think about that need until they have a problem.
Yeah. So like the average Hoosier, where would a Lucas Oil touch point be as someone's like probably driving down the road in their 2015 car listening to this podcast, where are all the different places that you guys could impact their journey?
Well, we can impact their journey from a fuel economy standpoint. You know, a lot of people end up with a failed injector and don't even know. A car can have a rough idle, some different things. They start burning fuel, maybe getting a little more of that smoke coming out of the exhaust. Those are things that can build up to be a very expensive problem. And we sell products that can solve those problems before they ever become that big expensive issue.
So how does someone, like, these are all like things like you would pour into, like,
Oh, yeah, you could pour it in. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'd say it's super easy, right? To Morgan's point, we have things for maintenance for older cars, but certainly just for newer cars as well that increase mile per gallon. I mean, in this day and age, we can all use a little bit of savings, right? And that's kind of our bread and butter.
100%. It really is about the consumer at the end of the day. You know, my dad always bragged about the fact that we've saved, you know, I think his numbers were always inflated, right? But we've saved the world billions of dollars. And it's interesting because when I first started that move back out of racing and getting into the company, I actually was taking calls in customer service. Yeah, there was this nice lady from Florida that called, and she just wanted to call to say thank you, which is interesting. But she was a grandmother who was working 2 jobs to support her daughter and her daughter's kids. And she's from Florida, and her transmission started slipping. She went to the shop. They told her it was going to be, you know, a week to 2 weeks of repair time, and it was going to cost her, you know, X $1,000. I can't remember what it was, a couple grand probably. But she was then at that point decided to go to the auto parts store to get a second opinion, and they told her to try our product, put it in, fixed her problem. And she calls us just to say thank you, because for her it wasn't necessarily about the money, it was about the time that she would have to ride a bus from one location to another to do all these things. And this woman was probably in her late 60s, early 70s, just by the sound of her voice. And when you hear that, and I'm not saying this is a pump our ego up here, that's kind of a recurring theme from things that we hear from people. And it makes you feel good about what you do on a daily basis.
And I feel like cars and engines are a lot like furnaces and water heaters. Like, the average person does not want to spend time messing with their furnace. The average person doesn't want to spend time messing with their transmission. And it's if you're not a car junkie, it is very intimidating, you know,
100%. Absolutely.
Especially like your older car, but it's also debilitating. Like, if you have car issues, transportation issues, whether you're in rural Indiana or you're in the city, like, you have to catch a bus, or, you know, in rural Indiana, there's probably like no way for you to get where you need to go, even to an auto parts store. Like, and like, you know, talk about the economics behind all of that, like, that can be really, really impactful. Like, transportation is something I think sometimes we take for granted.
The world has gotten a little, I think, overall, a little more naive to how to properly take care of their car. It's intimidating. You pop the hood, and I mean, there's literally a million wires going everywhere. And what people forget sometimes is that what's underneath those wires is very similar to the technology that's been around for a long time. Now, I'm not going to say it's the same, it's improved, but there's still metal and metal parts in there that need proper lubrication to operate. I think if you have a problem with your car, the best advice I can give you, and to quote Signetti here, just Google us. You know,
There we go.
It's
Love
easy.
it.
You know, if you got a problem, type in your symptoms, man, and a lot of times it can take you to a quick, easy, cheap fix.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, as soon as stuff, you know, starts to go in the car, it's like, okay, dollar signs, open up the checkbook, back up the Brinks truck. Like, this is going to be expensive. And some of the other, is preventative maintenance type stuff too. And like, people are, unfortunately, I feel like there's certain oil change places that I have nickel and dimed so many people on preventative maintenance things and changing the cabin, blah, 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 like 1,000 times. And it's like, it's very skeptical towards preventative maintenance.
Well, there's good companies and bad companies everywhere. I think the really exciting thing for us is that we have the data to prove that our products work.
Yeah.
It's not just a marketing gimmick. When we say it works, it's because it actually works, and we have the data and the science to back it up, which is super exciting for us.
Okay, so I got to give you a story of like my tie into racing, and then my question about maintaining old vehicles. So I was kind of talking about this before. What launched this whole podcasting journey was the Indy 500.
Oh, right on.
So when we were trying to get more listeners to the podcast, I went on this crazy mission to was like, we have to do something huge for the Indy 500. So I bought a 1986 Dodge pickup truck off of Facebook Marketplace and like documented the journey of like flipping it, cleaning it, getting it ready to go, and being the first truck in the infield at the Indy 500. So lining up the day before, and then once we got there, we hosted an all Indiana tailgate. So like Sun King, Upland, all local breweries, all local butcher shops, like no buns from Meyer. We had to like find a local bakery to do everything. It was crazy. But a part of that is like I bought this truck.
Oh, that is cool.
So this is a 1986 truck that runs roughly like it's top speed 45 miles an hour. Like it's not for speed, it's for show. But if I was like wanting to keep this, which I do, for forever, like are there things from preventative maintenance that like older vehicles need to be thinking about? And what should I do? What Lucas Oil products should I be considering for the truck?
Any car with, I would say, substantial miles really should be using our stabilizer.
What does a stabilizer do?
It's a product that actually has properties within it that create a film strength on the parts themselves that, again, reduce that friction. It can raise the viscosity of the oil inside. So if you have, let's say, blow-by of the rings, old worn-out oil rings, it will help seal that up as well, which actually helps fuel consumption because you're not getting as much of that fuel going past the oil rings and diluting the oil in the crankcase. Again, because of that friction reduction, the operating temperature as a whole reduces, which will extend the life of the products in there. So you're not getting all that metal-on-metal contact. And a transmission, I'm assuming that truck probably had an automatic transmission in it. And, we have transmission fix, but it's funny because the name is fix. It will fix the problem. But what happens in transmissions, automatic transmissions, there's clutch packs within those, and eventually they will wear out. And there's not enough contact surface area that is still got enough grip on it, so to speak, to engage. So that's where you'll get that slipping if you're in second gear and all of a sudden the motor just revs up on you and you're like, what happened? Trying to increase the system pressure in order to engage those clutch packs harder to run longer. Now, anything has a failure point. I'm not going to say that, you get a truck and you put 3 million miles on it. At some point in time, there's going to become a pinhole leak from the water jacket into the crankcase itself. And, there's no oil in the world that's going to fix that problem.
In the last 5 minutes, we have said more auto parts than the last 200 episodes. So I love it.
Yeah.
Like this makes sense. Like as you think of older vehicles, this is 1985, 1986. Like that's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. For like a vehicle to keep going. Are there any stories of like what's the oldest vehicle that has been a customer of you all that you have heard of? Like how many miles?
Well, so this is actually interesting is that my dad, when we were in California, his cousin, second cousin lived out there already, and he was driving one of those private limo services where it's just like a standard Lincoln Town Car, not a stretch or anything. But he would, pick people up, drive them around, do all the stuff throughout the days. And my dad and his cousin started talking about how maybe what we can use is our products as a testing. So they get this brand new town car, started putting our products in it. In Southern California, it is not hard to put 50,000+ miles on a car in a year. They ran this car out with our products in it front to back for I think 2 or 2.5 years before they retired it, and I think it had almost 225,000 miles on it when we got it. We ended up buying the car in order to continue the test. We ran it out to 450,000 miles before it got totaled out by somebody rear-ending it on the highway.
No.
Yeah, original drivetrain, everything. Never had to make a single fuel injector repair, transmission, everything. It all stayed in there just as it was when it came off the manufacturing line.
Wow.
So it was kind of a cool testament for us inside. And honestly, it's funny because the thing kind of turned into the errand running car, you know what I mean? Just, let's go take the town car. Here's the keys. And flip around. We want more miles. Let's go.
Yeah.
But that's just an example of that. We had a lot of trucks in our fleet for a long time that would have, 1, 2, 3 million miles on them.
Mm-hmm.
A million miles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'd service certain aspects of it just out of general maintenance principles. But all the original hard parts were there.
Okay, so this is interesting. So if I bought a brand new car, like it comes off the lot, I get it here. Are there things that I should be thinking about from a Lucas Oil perspective and putting into my car on day one?
say
I'm
fuel
going to test
treatment.
Katie right
I'm
now.
going to say
Let's go.
fuel treatment. And because it's the easiest thing for me. Someone that did not grow up working on cars, I did not know. I took it to the dealership if it needed something.
You didn't know about the clutch pack and the
I
crankshaft?
didn't. Isn't that shocking? But the fuel treatment is so easy. It again increases miles per gallon. You can use it on new cars, and you just stick it in your fuel tank. That's something I can do. It's something anybody can do. To me, that is always first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think that, and finding we have a couple different versions of stabilizer. Even if it's a newer car, putting some synthetic stabilizer in with your oil changes, only because, again, it's reducing friction. You got to think it's that your engine is turning over anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 revolutions per minute. That's that many times that metal is turning on metal, and it's one of those things that if you can reduce incrementally that friction over time, it will extend the life of that vehicle. Now, maybe you're not the person that wants to own that car for your whole lifetime, but there's other people that are buying that car after the fact. And if you're the guy that's going out and buying a used car off the lot, highly, highly recommend you getting our products and putting it in, because you don't know what the previous owner did. You don't know how they drove the car. They might have just everywhere they went, pedal to the wood, and that's going to increase that wear and that issue.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that it's almost like a preventative maintenance type thing is like the antidote, not the antidote, but like warranty. The warranty is reactive. Like,
Yes.
okay, I am covered when something goes wrong, versus like the preventative maintenance is, well, I'm doing my best to make sure that less things go wrong. It's interesting. And I have assuming, like, I don't know if you're buying a 5-year warranty, it's going to be whatever. And I wonder if you took the same amount of money and put it into preventative maintenance, like probably a significant, like less amount of money. Like, I don't know about the total economics on that, but there's something to think about there from taking better care of your stuff. Wow. My girlfriend just bought a new Honda and I'm like all in.
Yes.
I'm like
Yeah.
all in on, like, this is what she's going to be so pissed when she listens to this episode. Like, her Christmas basket is just all like oil.
We can
and
hook
fuel.
her up. We can hook her up.
It's good. She's going to be like, oh yeah, like hopefully like new Uggs. And it's like, fuel additive. She's like, what the? It'll be great though. This is longevity for her new Honda.
Yes.
Let's go. Okay, what I do want to talk about is one. So company starts in California. When does the move to Indiana? Obviously, racing brought you to Indiana, but when did the company come to Indiana?
It's been a few years. We officially moved headquarters. We moved into it last October, so it's just been about a year.
So it was still headquartered in
was
Indiana or in California?
California, yeah, which is very, very difficult to do business. And it actually, the genesis really is it was costing us more money to produce product and deliver it to California than if we produced it in Indiana and shipped it to California. Significantly more. It's California just makes it very, very difficult to do business.
So were you guys living in California? No. So you were living here, but the business was running in California. Was that hard to
There's
like?
a lot of travel.
Yeah.
A lot of travel, going back and forth. And to be honest with you, I mean, California, the people that we had employed out there, there was a lot of great people. It was a tough decision to shut the office down out there, but Indiana is just more inviting. Now, the plant in southern Indiana where we produce our product, we've had that since the early 2000s.
Was that like something your dad, like, so obviously started out in California and was like, if I have to make a manufacturing plant, I'm going to put it in southern Indiana?
Yeah, 100%.
That's so cool.
He knew that, he's an Indian, he's a Hoosier, first and foremost, right? Loves the state. We have family down there. But he always had this thing that he said that if you look at the overall population of the United States, southern Indiana is like really close to the center of population, not necessarily, mileage. And I don't know if he was just saying that just to justify the cost of doing it there or not, but it does work out. Our freight costs are reasonable coming from that location.
Yeah, and what is it, like, this was the original Amazon Prime was like southern Indiana. It's like you're 2 days from like everything.
That was his, that was just basically his vibe, and that was the common sense coming out of him. He drove up and down the road for so long. He understood, where people were, where they needed to be. And honestly, knew the customer base too. And the lion's share of our customers are in the Midwest and the East Coast.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of the community aspect, right? He wanted to give his family, his friends, opportunities for jobs. There's not a whole lot of manufacturing down in southern Indiana. And that's to, our discussion earlier of why do some of these ancillary businesses exist? It's to give people jobs.
Yeah.
That was really the heart of a lot of Forrest and Charlotte's decisions.
Yeah, and it's like, let's say the cost between putting it in Kentucky or New Mexico or Indiana is all like roughly the same. It's like, oh, I might as well like go someplace where I'm going to know the people and it's going to make an impact in my local community that helped get me where I am today. I love that. I think that's so, so cool. That had been in Southern Indiana since the early 2000s. Talk to me about making the decision to like move everything from California to Indiana. Like that's not an easy thing to do.
Well, California laws and regulations, they change year to year. And it's never in favor of the entrepreneur, is what I'll say, because there's probably a lot of businesses out there that really don't have that entrepreneurial spirit. It's more cutthroat than I think we are in how we try to operate. Got to the point where we were landlocked at our site where we were there, and it's costing 10 to 11% more per unit.
Oh,
to
wow.
produce in California.
Were people, I'm assuming, I think I know the answer, but I won't jade it. Were people from Indiana, all like, whether they're economic development or government or whoever, like kind of always in everyone's ear saying, hey, you guys should just move to Indiana. You should just bring everything here.
I think it depends on, it wasn't as abundant as you'd think. I think
if I was in economic development, I would have been like, come on, water's nice, jump on in.
I think there were some nice nudges, but there was never a forceful push, so to speak. I know that, Governor, Pence at the time and Holcomb, my dad, they were close. My dad, has done a lot of different work with, I'm going to say just different politicians to try to protect certain aspects of life.
Did your dad live in Indiana?
He's kind of been here for a long time. He's got a place here, a place in Missouri. That's where they spent a lot of their time, was between here and there.
Yeah. Okay. But not, so like the company is out in California, but you guys are all here. That makes not in California. That has to be very hard, like challenging of leading from a distance and traveling all the time and spending too much time on airplanes.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't bode well for your anxiety levels, because you're constantly having to check on things and ask questions that you wouldn't normally have to ask if you're sharing an office with somebody.
What year did the official transition? You said it opened last October. So
24 was when I put our the flag in the ground and moved to Indianapolis officially.
Heck yeah, I love that. Did any? And I know you said it was obviously that having to shut down facility, definitely not easy. Did anyone from California come to Indiana?
So I think the most surprising thing is there are lifelong California residents that asked to come and move to Indiana. And we were shocked. I was like, do you know what you're getting into with the weather? And they love it because, yes, California is beautiful. The weather's great. But Indiana is a fantastic place to raise a family, to be in community, the fellowship. Everything. It's funny, lifelong California residents asking to move, and they are so happy, would never go back.
That pumps me up. Let's go.
Cool.
That's hype. Come on. Because you guys have the new location is like up off 465 on the south side?
North side, Keystone at the crossing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I drove past it the other day and I saw it and I was like, is it like black? Pretty cool. Very slick looking.
Trying to be a little bit more modern.
Yeah, come on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us about, growing, and now, obviously new office in this past October, looking forward, like, innovation. What can we expect coming out of Lucas Oil in 2026 and beyond?
I think there's quite a bit. I think one of the things that we're most proud of is the team that we've built around us. Just very, very intelligent, passionate people that really understand at the core of Lucas Oil, we're trying to improve and impact lives. We do that through products, but then also how we help in our community. And we have a group that is so incredibly passionate that we met yesterday as a team, and there's just so much excitement about what we're going to do in the future. So certainly expansion and growth, a lot of global opportunities as well.
Oh, okay. Global opportunities. Because you are in 40 countries thus far. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we feel like, again, we have a lot to offer every consumer. Yeah. And there's a lot of countries where people they have vehicles that need...
Cars aren't getting any younger anywhere.
And the economy changes for everybody all the time. And at the end of the day, not everybody is doing as well as your average American. And it's nice to know we can go in and hopefully make an impact on someone's life in those areas. We have a good sales team that's trying to grow that front. We also are trying to launch new products moving forward. And I say that meaning like we have a new line of hybrid specific products that are coming out, because I feel, and I think we feel collectively, that 10 years from now, the lion's share of the cars on the road are going to be hybrid.
Oh, yeah, right? Like, it's wild.
And to be honest, it's great technology. Yeah. It really is great technology. We're I'm a big fan of it. I drive a hybrid truck.
You want to hear a fun fact about hybrids and electric vehicles? Studebaker up in South Bend built one of the first electric powered vehicles back in the early 1900s, but the range was only like 90 miles. And so it was like they drove an electric car back around then, and it got like nixed for the gas engine, and obviously gas takes off. And it's funny to see that come full circle. But back in the early 1900s, they were making battery powered cars in South Bend, Indiana.
So I do have to say, there's a big difference between hybrid and EV.
Yes,
so
yes,
we
yes, yes,
support, very much support hybrid technology and things like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have to say it.
We don't hate Tesla owners. We don't. But to me, it's kind of an argument of free market versus not. And I feel like hybrids are the natural evolution to the combustion engine.
Yes.
Because it's assisted, the range is better, the impact on the environment is better. It's just a smarter option from an efficiency standpoint.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that hybrids are like totally in right now. I feel like back in mid 2000s, like the only hybrid was a Prius, and it was like if you drove the Prius, you're like if someone's like your mom drives the Prius, dude. Like in high school, that was what it was.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's trucks, cars, SUVs, everything is like hybrid. That's fun.
That's how the free market works, though, right? I mean, it took time for it to take off and grab in, but if you think about the overall evolution, the cars today are a million times more efficient than they were in the 70s or 80s or even 90s from a fuel consumption standpoint, but also just a general life standpoint. Granted, there's probably more cars on the road than there ever has been in order to sustain a proper infrastructure for this country and not to create and overtax our electrical grids and all these things. It should be more organic and not forced.
You talk about community impact. Like one of the largest ways that you guys, your family and your company has impacted Indianapolis for the last, 15 years or so, I don't know the exact number, is on the side of the football stadium downtown. Can you take me through that what does I'm really curious about this. What does the process of sponsoring an NFL stadium look like in the first year? Like when it first comes out, this is going to be Lucas Oil Stadium.
So I can talk to that because I was working for the Colts when this all transpired.
So you were on the other side.
So I was on the other side of this. And so, Tom Zupancic, Jay Sowers, and Forrest had a fantastic relationship. Those are the two of the gentlemen that were working at the Colts. They kind of pitched this huge idea to one of our absolute smallest sponsors. At the time, Lucas Oil came in kind of bare minimum sponsor to be a sponsor of the Colts. So they pitched this just knowing the Indiana roots, not really thinking a whole lot. First pitch, and Forrest was like, yep, let's do it. I mean, without talking to his CFO, COO, anybody else, he was like, yep, because he had that his brain just worked so well with branding that he knew that it would make Lucas Oil appear much bigger than it actually was at the time to put your name on an NFL stadium. And so just the excitement and the energy around that first year. I mean, I remember the team would bring us Lucas Oil merch and all this stuff. People would take it from our offices. People just wanted anything that said Lucas Oil on it because no one had really heard of it. So it was so fun on kind of the other side of it. And just the excitement from Forrest and Charlotte. I mean, it was such a huge deal for the family and the business.
Yeah, talk about that when your dad, so he says, yep, we're in. Does he call you? Does he call a family meeting and say, hey, just so y'all know, we're going to be on the side of an NFL stadium?
Just to put this in context, my dad, I think a lot of times thought of himself as like John Wayne, right? Like he was very cavalier. He was the cowboy. He's going to roll in and have conviction in the moment. As a kid, I was racing at the time when all this got announced. And I feel like, I can't remember who called me. It wasn't my dad. I thought about my mom, actually. Said, hey, we're going to do this deal. And then I found out for somebody else that it was a done deal. But to really kind of is huge. I mean, I feel like there was a lot of these different milestones that happened at the time. And, it's crazy because that one set the bar pretty high. But his whole mindset was, okay, I want people in other spaces besides motorsports, which is where we heavily did our advertising at that point in time. There was no such thing as Facebook and, Instagram and all the stuff where you do digital marketing now. It was a different vibe, right? Podcasts weren't a thing when this announcement happened. If they were, they weren't what they are now. Yeah. It was just a different world. My dad said, we need other people to know about the brand. And he also wanted to give the appearance that we're this Fortune 500 company, and we weren't. But it did help growth. We saw sustainable growth from the announcement, from the Super Bowl, from everything. And it's been an amazing cornerstone in our marketing efforts since. And even now today with having our brand on the front of the Pacers jersey, that's something I never, in all my childhood, I would have never thought this would have been a thing we're talking about.
Well, and I think for us too, to showcase Indiana, we bring our clients, our customers into Lucas Oil Stadium. It's beautiful. The restaurants, just the vibe around Indy, how Indianapolis and Indiana host events is second to none. We know that, right? And so it's such a joy for us to bring people in and showcase the stadium.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I just remembered, the patches this year that
yes,
you guys
that's new,
are now,
yeah.
that's incredible. I mean, let's hope the season's starting off. We're getting going. You haven't shake off some of the rust,
Yeah.
We're ready to rock. Morgan, talk to me about the first time you saw the stadium. Like maybe you're driving down I-70 or wherever it is, and you see the logo on the side of this massive building looming over the Indianapolis skyline. What did that mean to you?
To be honest, I was around it a lot as it was being built because my father was there. I mean, when he goes all in on something, he's all in. He was there for, I was basically a year straight where he was in there with the construction team, laying things out, evaluating, going through it. They basically lived at the Marriott because it was before they bought their house in Carmel. That was his thing. Again, he goes all in. That was just how he always was when it came to those things, anything like that. But for me, I think it was the first game. You see the sign, everything's lit up, people driving in, and it was like, that's when it got real. It was extremely special to see that and kind of weird. I think at the same time, when you're thinking about it, like, wow, this is like, it's just, I don't know, it was heavy, I think is the right way to say it. It's hard to explain just because it was an emotional experience.
This thing that your dad and mom started in 1989 to fix the problems of his fleet is now on the side of an NFL stadium, and there's going to be a Super Bowl there. And like, that's crazy. Yeah. It's so, so awesome. And now like the impact, like it's just a staple within Indiana, obviously the entire NFL community, but like, oh yeah, it's Lucas Oil. Like it's synonymous with Indiana. Like it's literally like, I don't know, it's crazy in the best way possible. And it is this story of entrepreneurship and the grind. And you talk about like, selling your company, going all in for 10 years, going all in again and again, and like putting every dollar into growth and, then manufacturing. And it's not so much like the filling your own bottles and, like all that stuff. It's awesome. It is like this American entrepreneurship story of your mom and dad, which is so, so cool. And I think it's amazing that you guys get to help, champion this next generation of that legacy. Talk to me about being awarded two of the top 250 most influential business people in the state of Indiana. How did that feel for you all on a personal level and a company level?
I think sometimes it's hard to accept that, just to be honest, because we know we have an incredible team behind us, right? That doesn't happen without the people that are surrounding us. And so I think that if we accept it, it's more of accepting on behalf of the amazing team that we have. But Indiana is our home. We absolutely love everything about Indiana, the community, the people. We talk about this quite often. When we need something or want to do something in the community, all of our partners come together. I think sometimes people take for granted how many businesses want to help and better the community. That's not normal when you go to other states or other cities. It's remarkable, the just quality of good human beings that are here.
Katie, where are you from originally?
I was born in Carmel and then moved all over the country, and then I went to Noblesville High School and IU, and then never left.
There we go. North side of Indianapolis to IU. Kelly, there we go. That's so fun. I love it. I do think that's really cool because it is a team, like you guys get to be out in the front and, leading this thing and carrying on this legacy. But yeah, if you have a great team, I don't know, Morgan, what are your thoughts?
Very much in line with her on this one. And I think even more so because I know that, anything that we accomplish, as Katie said, is because of our team. But I think in large part, it's Katie's leadership has really done so much for not just our company, but in the internal aspects of our company, but also in the community. And she leads with intentionality and purpose and all of the things. And I feel like I'm kind of like I get to be the plus one in that moment because at the end of the day, as a company, we are being awarded these things based on the leadership of an overall bigger picture, but it does take good leadership in order to get there.
I love that. And you guys are a staple of the Indiana community. And I mean, very well deserved, being on the list of, again, 1/125th of the most influential people. And you guys are doing big things. And we did talk about it before. If anyone is ever down in Crawford County, you guys do have your name on a couple other sporting facilities, one being a golf course in Southern Indiana. If you're ever looking to, is it 18 or 9? I don't know.
It's 18.
If you're looking for a good golf course in Southern Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Don't let the front nine fool you. The back nine is tough. So have fun.
I love that. And that's like a statement or a testament to your dad and his impact in that community. You guys obviously have a facility down in Harrison County. Crawford County is like neighbors there. So just like building up these areas in which you guys, and I mean, that's where you graduated from high school, right? Gordon?
Yeah, Harrison County.
Harrison County. Yeah. I think that's super cool. I love that fact that he, in 2000s when you're put in the place to open up a facility in Southern Indiana. Amazing. Okay, we've come to the end of the show where we have a couple fun segments and portions here for you. So the first question is brought to you by our friends at JC Hart. They're a leader in creating enjoyable living experiences at apartment communities all across Indiana and beyond. Check them out at homeisjchart.com. My question for each of you, why do you call Indiana home?
I mean, I would say family. It is not just our family is here, but the community is family. People come beside you if you need anything. You're not alone. That is just, it's absolutely amazing, the feeling of family you get no matter where you are.
Heck yeah.
I think to build off of that, because I completely agree, and I'm not just saying that because she's sitting right next to me. No, I do agree with that, but I have the unique perspective of growing up in California and then moving here and understanding the difference in the cultures of the communities. Again, there's a lot of great people in California, but the overall culture of the community of Central Indiana as a whole, is different. First time I came here to look for a house, wasn't the first time I've been in Indianapolis, but the first time I was looking for a house. I mean, driving around random neighborhoods, looking at things, trying to get a feel for everything. And I mean, people would stop what they're doing and wave at you. They weren't flipping you off. They weren't calling the cops. It was just a different feeling. And you get that across the board. There's just moral fiber, approach, attitude, love. I think there's a lot more faith embedded into what people do here. And, as a young man, you don't really appreciate it as much as you grow up and get older. And now that we have kids, you really understand why all that is so critical, because raising a family here, I'm hard-pressed to think of anywhere I think would be better.
Yeah. Come on. I love that. And I love that you have the perspective, because when I get up here, it's like I've lived in Indiana like the majority of my life, right? So it's like, oh, this is just a homer talking about how great it is. But people who have different perspectives and have seen different things, we just had someone on, Nick Giuliani, and he talks about his family. He was... he was in the Oculus program at Facebook and then moved his family out to Indiana during COVID and has just loved it. And he said he had this similar story where his wife was like getting groceries and carrying them out from her car, and like someone offered to help her and like was going to like reach, and she thought someone was trying to steal her groceries. She's like, no, it's just an Indiana person like helping you get your groceries to your car. And I thought that was so funny, but so telling. I want to talk, obviously we know the Pacers logo. We have the stadium here in Indianapolis. I think you guys have also sponsored things like Monster Jam, Major League Fishing, pro bull riding, all sorts of crazy cool things. If there was one dream crazy sponsorship and you could just choose and snap your fingers and Lucas Oil was involved with it, what would it be?
I would say F1.
Oh,
because that's so far out of our realm.
Like the Grand Prix de Indianapolis, like the Circle City Grand Prix.
Yes.
Come on, that would, I just imagine everyone like tuxedoed up downtown and they're like ripping on the bricks in Monument Circle. Like that would be legendary.
I feel I could hear all the teams, the F1 teams in Europe right now entering, information into ChatGPT to send us a letter for engagement.
100%.
Right now. It's already happening.
That's going to happen, right?
It's honestly so hard for me to think of anything, literally anything that we haven't been part of that hasn't already blown my mind.
Is there a current sponsorship, let's say besides Pacers and in the stadium downtown, because obviously those are the best. Let's go. But is there like something you guys have been a part of? Like, I don't know, bull riding, fishing, monsters, like all these crazy. Like, what's been the craziest one where you're just like, this is wild and I love this?
We used to actually film this TV show back when we were super heavily, and it was On the Edge, right? You remember this? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but the lawnmower races were probably the most interesting thing that's ever happened.
You guys once sponsored like a television. Wait, what's the television? We got to dive into this for a second.
The show's called On the Edge, and it would find the most interesting or obscure
That's a
forms
nice way
of
to say it. Interesting.
interesting or obscure forms of motorsports. I mean, swamp buggy races, different things like that. Like, and it's all thoroughly interesting when you watch it because it's like ESPN the Ocho, but for motorsports.
Oh, that's sick.
You know,
It's no longer on television.
No, it's not
That's a
right now.
shame.
And they might do some re-airs and different times. You probably find some stuff on YouTube, but I find that to be the most interesting. I mean, it's not the thing I'm most proud of, but it is definitely the most interesting thing because when you think about seeing grown men hanging off the side of a lawnmower going around a dirt track, that's pretty fun.
We also have to talk about Lucas Oil Live. So part of WinStar, so the world's largest casino is WinStar in Oklahoma by square feet. And they built a new music venue, entertainment venue. And so we did naming rights to that, Lucas Oil Live. There's been some fantastic acts. We went and saw Jelly Roll a few months ago at Lucas Oil Live. And for us, like for, Jelly Roll singing like Lucas Oil Live and Lucas Oil like on stage. And I was just like, this is so cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I saw him because I wasn't like sold earlier. I was like, oh, it's Jelly Roll. Like I wasn't that pumped. He is a performer. And his like hands start moving really fast. And he's just so hyped. Yeah. And he's like, it's like a moving experience. Like I would actually recommend anyone next time he comes to town, go see it. Agreed. Even if you're kind of like, oh, it's just Jelly. Like music is phenomenal. The energy's great. Like the whole thing was incredible. Like that's really, really cool.
Yeah. And if you're a Stapleton fan, he's come to Lucas Oil Live in March.
Yes. Coming up.
Do we have a direct flight to Oklahoma? Like how do we?
Dallas is not that far away.
Hey, there you go. All right.
45 minminutes from
Dallas. That's pretty.
pretty.
So we have the obscure lawnmower racing. That's pretty fun. And then obviously Lucas Oil Live. How old is that venue?
3 years.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to sell anything else we do short. PBR is insane, man. If you get up on the by the gate and watch these guys get ready on these bulls, these massive animals. I mean, that is crazy. It's a level of bravery that most people don't.
I was gonna say like
bravery or maybe that and stupidity, maybe a little bit.
As a male, I have to go with the bravery.
Yeah, right. So. Okay, wait. 330 miles in a drag car or 8 seconds on a bull? Like, which one's crazier?
Well,
8 seconds on a bull.
I would say so because at the end of the day, I had a roll cage, a fire suit, helmet, all those things. And to be honest with you, like, knock on wood, if something were to have happened to me in that situation, it probably would have happened pretty quick. Those guys, man, you're talking about having these massive things stomping on you. Like, it's wild.
Is bull riding like it might be the craziest modern profession? Like the fact that. And that's why that's why it gets eyeballs. Like people like I love the if you go into like Louisville, they have and they have a few the PBR like the bar and they have like the mechanical bull. Like that's my style. Like I'll tell the guy to crank it up a little bit, but it's nice and fun. Obviously, in the mode of transportation, your dad drove all across the United States of America, but we're talking the state of Indiana. Favorite road trip in the state?
I can tell the one that we've most commonly done is that's going to Saraland and Columbus for baseball. Yeah, that's a tough one because there's so many beautiful aspects, but I honestly think that whole southern Indiana area, down by French Lick, going up by Patoka, and to the whole southern part of the state, rolling hills, stuff that it's awesome. I mean, especially this time of year, you see
beautiful
trees turning, and it's it's awesome to see God's creation at work.
I love that. I think that's super cool, and it's we're always encourage people to get out and explore parts of the state, like something like French Lick. I feel like everyone knows Larry Bird. Everyone knows that it's down there. There's a casino, blah, blah, blah. But like so many people haven't actually gotten in the car and driven down there. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe once you get past like Martinsville and everything starts turning and changing and you're like, wait, where the heck am I? And then like Lake Country up in northern Indiana, it's like everyone knows that like Wabasee and Maxicukee and Tippecanoe are up there. But it's like until you go and check them out, or the coastline of Lake Michigan. Yeah, we got that too. Like, oh my goodness.
Just drive up to the top of the hill by the Dye Golf Course. You don't have to golf. Just drive up there and take a look around. Just do a 360 and you will appreciate Southern Indiana.
I went to the Corn Ferry Tour, the championship that they have at Pete Dye. And like, I was like, okay, this is like, AAA golf, but someone, I think 20 people get their PGA cards there. It's like an intense event. Pretty cool. I get to the top of there and I look around and I was just in awe. Like there is, I would say like the stereotype is that Indiana wouldn't have that much like jaw-dropping natural beauty. That the top of that mansion or the top of that hill by the mansion is jaw-dropping. It's crazy. Wow. Okay, I'm fired up right now. Let's go. All right. So this brings us to the portion where we ask the same 3 questions to every guest. We also get to highlight some more things across the state of Indiana. Obviously, you guys have been all over, traveling for racing, growing up in California, here, there, Oklahoma. As you're going out there, and if you could tell everyone in the world, what is one thing the world needs to know about Indiana?
I'm going to speak to the business world. Give us a shot. The state's amazing. Great. I think, the IDC and the group there, the leadership that's here with local, even like local Carmel government, for example, like there's people that understand the need for good businesses and good jobs and communities here. And they're very welcoming. We have plenty of real estate for manufacturing jobs to set up shop here. There's a lot of opportunity, but I think what really needs to be said, and that what we discovered ourselves, is that the workforce here, the pool of talent in this community is amazing, phenomenal. Very intelligent, highly trained people, buy into a good culture. And if you're willing to give Indiana a shot, you're going to find some great talent here.
I agree. And I think there's a lot of leaders that are just so forward thinking, like Morgan mentioned, Sue Finkham, Chris Jensen. They just, they understand business, they understand culture, and how to really move Indiana forward. It's exciting.
I got to spend the day with Mayor Jensen in Noblesville, and he gave me the tour around the square and all the stuff up there. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I haven't met Sue yet, but I've also heard great
amazing.
things.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's really funny. Carmel gets so much hate. Like everyone hates her. But then it's like if you were to like find a blind study and say like, all right, paint your perfect town of what you want. And they're like, I want trails and vibrant arts and downtown and all these things. And you're like, then on paper, you're like, well, you just described Carmel, Indiana. Like it's really crazy. Okay, this is the part where you get to enlighten us on a piece of the state that means a lot to you and that more people need to know about. So what is a hidden gem in Indiana?
Shout out to Craig Hughes and that family and the Cunningham group as well. I feel like there's just some really good people in that sense. So if you come here, you'll eat well. Have fun.
Yeah. Okay, so if you were bringing someone from out of town, let's say you had a weekend to like take them out to a few places to dinner. Let's go like dinner Friday, Saturday, and maybe lunch on Saturday. Where would you take them if you had 3 spots?
I love Commission Row. I just think that, being attached to Gainbridge, it feels like you're in a big city. So I feel like Elmo's and Commission Row are kind of our 2 go-to downtown.
I love 33 in Carmel.
Yes.
1930. It's amazing.
That place, you walk in there and it's just like it takes your breath away a little bit.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
cool.
I feel like we go up Prime 47. We do a lot. I feel like they truly
people.
understand the experience and just make it, it's just such a fun experience and really good human beings that run it.
100%. Yeah, Jeremiah and his wife, Nessa, are just awesome folks. And again, great food.
We do Rosie's a lot. That is when we need, because being from Noblesville, that was the original location. So it's been really fun.
Not a lot of people know that
Oh,
the
really?
original Rosie's is in Noblesville. I think a lot of people think the Zionsville spot was the OG one.
yeah.
It is the oldest looking one for that, but it's an old building.
Yeah.
It is-
That's Zionsville.
Yeah.
Zionsville.
They love the culture.
Yeah.
They love the history and tradition there. Yeah, those are, fantastic spots. I feel like everything new that they're putting up, like Carmel gets like a great restaurant every 2 months. It seems like it's all they're
I
all
love
fire.
it. I love it.
Well, for you too, like they just opened like the Buffalo's there. That has to be pretty reminiscent
All
of your
the
time in IU. Come on.
Kilroy's downtown.
Oh, we've come to the final question of the show where we get to talk about someone or some people in the state. This is where we get guest recommendations or just you put on notice people in Indiana that are doing great things. So who's a Hoosier that we need to keep on our radar? Someone who's doing big things.
Well, maybe it's because we're a husband and wife duo, but Philip and Annie Daigle at Heart and Soul Church, what they are doing, not just in the church community, but just expanding their reach outside of the church walls. Husband and wife together doing it. It is amazing. They are amazing human beings, and she has the voice of an angel.
1,000% she does. And Philip's a great guy too, charismatic, but with a big heart.
Yep.
And it's nice for us as members of that church just to know and have faith and trust in the people that are leading that part of our life, really. Yeah, I'd say outside of them, I would say Pamela Whitten is somebody I think is
Oh,
she's one of Katie's favorite superstars in the world. But I just what
Yeah.
she's done to change the culture of IU as a whole. Again, I didn't graduate from there, so I shouldn't be able to talk about this. But as a sports fan, it's awesome. I think the amount of dedication she's put to that, because I think she understands the marketing of a university and how to complement the amazing first-in-class education.
It's her vision. I mean, the reason the football program is the way it is because of her. And not a lot of people know that. I mean, Kurt certainly gets all the credit, but she's the one that hired Kurt. She's the one that put the money into the program. And to Morgan's point, it's just her vision of what Indiana could possibly look like.
And like gives him the freedom to like be him and like, you know, put that whole thing together, orchestrating. Yeah. Everyone I've met has raved about, I've never met Pam, but I know that everyone raves about her. Great. I have one more question now from that because I think this is really an interesting part. So from, whether it's Lucas Oil Live or Lucas Oil Stadium or like the different, you know, in-person events and activations you guys are part of, have we come across anyone that just like had you starstruck where you're like, oh, meet whoever?
At the WNBA, the All-Star game.
Yeah, same
game.
night.
Same night, but at the game. And it was so funny. All these celebrities, all these people, they walk over and freak out about Jake, the State Farm guy from the commercials. I was just like, oh my word.
They met thought, Cedric the Entertainer, and they were not as enthralled
it's like
as they were
it
with
was
Jake State
so funny. But just because the kids see it and they see it on TV, because the only thing they watch is sports, and it was so funny to me that Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm, like he's boys with like who is Patrick Mahomes? And like he's
they've
like
met
the
everybody.
guy.
They've met everyone, and it's Jake from State Farm.
And now having a chance to think about it, I do have that one celebrity person that I was shocked with, and it was just earlier this year. It was Jim Nance. Because I had a chance to talk to him for a little bit, and his father passed from Alzheimer's. That's what got my dad as well. And just, you want to talk about a real dude, just a nice guy, purely like as nice as he seems on TV. I think he's probably nicer in person.
Yeah. That's like also a cool piece is when you meet someone and you're like, it's not a persona, it's not an act. It's like, oh, this is who you really are. Like you're just a good dude. That's real. That fires me up. Let's go. Y'all, I want to just say thank you so much for coming on and sharing the story. It's incredibly inspiring, the entrepreneurial journey of Forrest and Charlotte back in 1989, getting this whole thing started to then, you know, building this business, getting your name and your logo on the side of an NFL stadium and continuing to grow, making global impact in over 40 countries now and more to come in the future. I'm so pumped up. Thank you for being amazing stewards of the state of Indiana. Thank you for being champions of all the cool stuff that's going on here. We are very, very fortunate to have y'all in our community, to have you in our, you know, whether it's eating at our restaurants or helping, you know, give people jobs here in our state. It's incredible. And so, from one Hoosier to another, we're very grateful for that.
Oh, thank you very much for having us. And thank you for what you're doing, showcasing Indiana, because it needs to be showcased more. We need to brag about how awesome we are, right?
I could go on a whole talk, but everyone's just so humble. And it's like, hey, I'll hype you guys up. Everyone stay humble, but we'll talk about how great this stuff is going on here. So, hey, we appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
This show is made possible by our friends up at Sweetwater. Whether you're looking to start a podcast or take your content to the next level, click the link in the description to see all my gear recommendations at Sweetwater. If you want a behind-the-scenes look at everything we're doing across the state, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nate Spangle. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of what makes the Hoosier State great. We'll see you next time here on Get In.